and welcome to this week's episode of Clearing the Haze. I'm your host, Chuck Marty. Today, we're going to talk about a workplace crime crisis, something that's starting to get more publicity throughout the news. And this week, I wanted to talk about a recent case that was in the news, and that's in addressing how drugs and addiction can fuel criminal activity on the job. You see, in a shocking revelation, a recent report from CBS News reported that two Department of Homeland Security agents in Utah, they've been accused of leveraging their positions to sell illicit drugs, including synthetic bath salts. Originally, these items were seized as evidence in narcotics cases. Now, this high-profile case underscores a troubling truth. Drugs and addiction are not just societal issues. They're infiltrating our workplaces and they're fueling criminal activity and jeopardizing safety and trust. You know, addiction and workplace crime have been on the rise, and it's a dangerous connection. You see, drug addiction often leads individuals down a path of deception. It compromises their moral compass and their decision-making abilities. This case of addiction and greed displays how a person can be in a position where it drives even those in positions of authority to commit acts of betrayal. Now, according to federal prosecutors, these agents allegedly began stealing drugs and other valuable evidence and then selling the substances on the street and profiting from illegal activities. These actions that directly contradict their mission to protect the public. Now, the implication for workplaces across industries are stark. Whether it's theft, fraud, drug distribution, addiction creates vulnerabilities that can lead to criminal behavior. So employees struggling with substance abuse may not only harm themselves, but also put coworkers, customers, and entire organizations at risk. The cost of workplace drug-related crime is huge. The financial impact of these drug-related crimes in the workplace is immense. Theft, fraud, lost productivity, cost of businesses. This all comes to a staggering amount of billions annually that are realized lost. The emotional toll is just as significant. You see, employees and customers lose trust in institutions within criminal activity that comes right from those organizations and it comes to light. In the DHS case that we're talking about, these accused agents allegedly pocketed between $195,000 to $300,000 by selling drugs through a confidential informant who then resold them on the Utah streets. This illegal operation not only exploited vulnerabilities in the community, but it also shattered public trust in law enforcement agencies. You have to learn to recognize the warning signs. And one of the key lessons from this, in this case, is the importance of vigilance. Employers must be proactive in identifying and addressing the signs of drug abuse and criminal activity in their workplace. Now, there are common red flags that include unusual behavior, such as paranoia, erratic conduct, extreme mood swings. There can also be performance issues like a sudden decline in productivity or an increase in mistakes. There's unexplained absences that are realized as well. Frequent tardiness or missing work without a valid reason or not even calling into work at all. There are also financial irregularities. There can be missing inventory, unexplained expenses, or even financial discrepancies. Now, taking action is the first step in prevention and intervention. The best way to combat drug-related crime in workplaces is through that prevention and intervention. So here's how employers can protect their organization. First, you have to implement robust screening and monitoring systems. Background checks and regular drug testing can deter potential criminal behavior. Two, you need to foster a supportive environment. You have to encourage employees to seek help for addiction through employee assistance programs and other resources that you make available to them. Number three, provide training. You need to educate managers and employees about recognizing the signs of substance abuse and knowing how to respond appropriately. Fourth, there needs to be a culture of accountability that's built. Establish clear policy for handling workplace crime and enforce them consistently. Number five, you have to partner with law enforcement. Collaborate with local authorities to address concerns and enhance security measures. Now, there's a huge call for accountability in this case and others. As the allegations against the DHS agents reveal, no workplace is immune to the challenges posed by drug addiction. However, organizations, they have the power to create environments where criminal activity is identified and then addressed before it escalates. This requires vigilance. It requires accountability and a commitment to supporting employees in overcoming addiction. At Clearing the Haze, we're dedicated to shining a light on the dark corners of our workplaces and substance abuse as it ripples through its effects. By addressing these issues head on, we can help businesses safeguard their individual people, their employees, their teams, their customers, and their communities. And it also puts their reputations in a better place. It's helped them to continue to grow in their future endeavors. So let's clear the haze together and help these individuals in growing their business, recognizing when these things occur, and learning how to respond to them appropriately. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Clearing the Haze. Do me a favor, go ahead and like this episode, share it with your friends and those that would be interested in this and find it of light, especially with the things that they're dealing with in the workplace today. Now, one of the things that we can do, leave comments for this so that I know and understand what else we can do to bring to light some of the things that we're experiencing in the workplace. There's a lot of different things from legalization that we've been dealing with marijuana and now with psilocybin and psychedelic drugs, to understanding the educational needs of our communities. Let us help bring in the experts that can speak on this here on Clearing the Haze to help educate and to help us learn what we need to do to address these needs, but also in helping our employers and our communities. So until next week, when we bring another episode of Clearing the Haze to you, take care.